It's a midweek must-win for travelling Adelaide United as they arrive at Suncorp Stadium to take on a rejuvenated Brisbane Roar. The penultimate game of the season for the Reds. And Brisbane, as the home side, will have not just their own fans, but plenty wearing Sydney FC Sky Blue and the colours of Macarthur, hoping that their run as a banana skin and a big spoiler at the end of the Isuzu UTE A-League season can come through and do them a big favour tonight. On the Isuzu UTE tunnel cam, there is Ryan Kitto leading the Adelaide United team up to the edge of the playing arena through the expanses of Suncorp Stadium behind the scenes. This Adelaide team, which has made, as you can see, some significant rotations. You won't have seen the golden boot. Equal leader Archie Goodwin make his way along with the starters to follow this Adelaide 11. You see the mascots from the Gold Coast Knights will be walking out with the players, and 11 of them there are still yet to have their Brisbane Roar counterparts come along and hold their hand on the way out. So it gives me a chance to introduce a little earlier than usual to the broadcast, former A-League champion and Socceroo, Eric Partaloo. Eric, the Brisbane Roar, there is a game on. They will be with us shortly, but it's a pleasure to have you alongside me tonight.
Yeah, Teo, great to see you and great to be here with you tonight. For the Brisbane Roar fans, they got themselves a big win against Western United here at home. It hasn't been a good season for the Roar. Here they come now. They've got one more game at home after this one tonight before they play the Mariners on the final day of the season. And having that victory in the last game, there must be a little bit of confidence around the place. If they go and get a result here tonight and they can get results in their final two games, will the opinions change over their course of their season, what they've been able to achieve?
Well, as you can see, Jay O'Shea getting his charges lined up, saying hello to his young mascot that's going to be walking out with him. And we're ready to get these two teams out onto the playing surface at Suncorp Stadium and start an absolutely vital game in the top six race. Here they come, Adelaide United in their away kit tonight, and Roar, a little uncharacteristic to be playing in their change strip as the home side as well. Here's what it means on the table. Sydney FC holding that all-important 6th place. Adelaide will play their penultimate 25th game of the season tonight. Only a win will put them above Sydney FC due to the significant difference in the goal difference column. And an Adelaide win could yet have Melbourne Victory fans feeling a little nervous about their final two games of the season as well. Macarthur, they're still in the conversation and certainly hoping for a Brisbane win tonight. So both teams are with us. Let's check on the Brisbane Roar and their changes coming off a win in their most recent start. Louis Zabala is the only conclusion to the starting 11, with Henry Hoare added to the bench. Anthony Burke-Gilroy has moved to the substitutes for Zabala, and there is no Walid Shaw in Ruben Zadkovic's matchday squad. Sam Klein scored in just the 3rd minute in the game against Western United, and he has 3 goals now for the season. They've all come recently, and his end to the campaign is one that's giving a lot of hope to Brisbane to see a Sunshine Coast youngster breaking out in the Isuzu UTE A-League. Adelaide United, coming off their late win against the Wellington Phoenix, have made one significant change with Luka Jovanovic into the starters at the expense of Craig Goodwin. Zach Clough has also moved to the bench, and there is no space in the squad for Ryan White tonight. Austin Ayubi joins the subs as a result. So big changes for Adelaide with 2 of their top scorers out, and it does put a lot of pressure on that number 9, Luka Jovanovic. He scored 4 goals, all of them fairly early in the season. He was away with the young Socceroos and has really been stuck behind Archie Goodwin for a start ever since. Ruben Zadkovic will know that perhaps even a draw might be good enough tonight to dodge the wooden spoon. Brisbane Roar on 14 points with Perth, but a significantly better goal difference. Carl Veart, the Adelaide United coach, is leaving at the end of the season regardless of what happens, but he would like to go out with one more finals campaign. His assistant Travis Dodd, a fellow former Socceroo, sitting next to him. Tonight's referee is Casey Rybelt, assistants James Sherry and Joey Lee. The 4th official is Adam Kersey. And And in the VAR booth, should we require it, Ben Abraham and assistant Kearney Robinson. Osama Abubakar didn't continue his run of scoring in the game against Western United, but has been a live wire for the Brisbane Roar and has been one of the reasons that rather than mail in the final games of the season, they have proven to be a difficult matchup and remain competitive in the majority of their games, even though the wins have largely evaded them. And Adelaide, they will just be relieved to be back on the winners list. Johnny Yulls, the other inclusion to the starters tonight, has come into this team. Certainly not a like-for-like switch for Zach Clough, whose goals and assists are so productive. Clough with 16 goal contributions this season. And you imagine at some point, if Adelaide are in need of a goal, we will see him come off the bench. Speaking of goals and assists, Florent Berenguer finally broke a drought of 23 without a goal against Western United. Will the 36-year-old Frenchman continue his good form? So it's Adelaide United to kick us off, attacking the right of your screen at Suncorp. And they must win. A draw not good enough tonight to climb back into the top six, to put the pressure on Sydney FC, who themselves are away at Western United in Tarneet on Sunday. The clearance for Hossein Billity as this match between Brisbane and Adelaide gets underway. And Eric, the table is set, the circumstances are known, and really it's up to Adelaide to deliver away from home. Yeah, make no mistake that this game tonight is absolutely massive for Adelaide United. They would love to get 3 points here against a Brisbane Roar side that, although they've had the win in the last game, have largely struggled, particularly here at this venue. You can see with the changes that Calvert's made, there's definitely a plan there for something to spring into life in the second half, I feel. You know, you leave guys on the bench that have scored you and created you goals throughout the campaign. So, a definite tactic for tonight. Luis Zavala, one of the Brisbane new faces in the starters tonight, trying to get involved. Brissett left the ball with Jay O'Shea. The surface may take a little bit of getting used to as well. It certainly proved difficult for a number of players in the match between Brisbane and Western United on Thursday. This match moved from round 16 to tonight, which is why we've got the Roar playing a curious fixture of Thursday to Tuesday, either side of the Easter weekend. Sam Klein with the clearance here. It's going back to his goalkeeper, Matt Acton, who leads with a header. Yeah, it's really good goalkeeping that from Matty Acton. Coming out early, coming in claiming something in the early stages of the game is really important for any goalkeeper watching, just to try and get some confidence going. And that's what they've been lacking at that bottom end of the pitch, haven't they? Defensively, just not at the races, and not being able to keep clean sheets has been a massive factor in why they find themselves in this position. As we see Max Vartuli here clearing the 20-year-old in just his 4th A-League game. And speaking of clean sheets, Adelaide haven't kept one in 9, not since February the 7th now, which means that Vartuli's 3 games so far have all involved conceding as well, so it suggests there will be goals on the way. I think if you're an Adelaide United player, you must be full of confidence, because you know that your team can go and score goals. Only one game this season, they have failed to hit the back of the net, so you know going out there you're going to score, you're going to create chances, but at the other end, that's where they need to tighten up. And they've got the chance to do so in the final stages before the final series, if they get there. Dylan Perias protesting the decision to pay a foul in favour of Jacob Brissett. He's saying shoulder to shoulder, as the referee felt a little differently. Yeah, it's always good early in the game, a little bit of spice, get the blood pumping. Brisbane Roar are going to set up here and get everybody forward. Planning himself offside. He's going to run back in line with the defence upon the taking of the free kick from Jay O'Shea. Repelled once. Jack Hingett, game number 301 for him tonight, having raised that significant milestone as the 13th player in the Isuzu UTE League to do so last start. Ability, a shaky touch. Mork nearly able to capitalise for Adelaide, but Brissett is where the ball ended up. And now the Roar can turn and go. So from rickety in defence to optimistic in attack. Jelicic left the ball with Brissett. And it nearly looped over Max Vartuli. It's out for a goal kick.
Well, when your luck's with you, it's right there by your side. They got caught trying to play out from the back and almost got pinched and counter-attacked on. But then right there, Jelicic just laying that ball off, and it almost goes over Max Vartuli there. It was inches away from creeping in, giving us the opener. But Brissett again, so dangerous. Once he gets going and dribbles forward into the box.
Well, he's been a live wire. And excitingly, both for Brisbane fans and perhaps their allies tonight in Sydney FC and MacArthur, it looks like he's up for this one. Bart Vriens, and now Panagiotis Kikianis for Adelaide. Ryan Kiddo. Vartuli, first time clearance. Going on to Cooley, outpointed by Hingett. Mork. Quick exchange with Jay Barnett. Adelaide happy to slow things down and consolidate. Now a longer pass comes, but read in the air by Ability. Zabala, Mork jumps the pass. Promising now for Johnny Yull. It's Yull with a long shot, deflected immediately. And there's not much backspin on the ball, so DeCooley, instead of watching it out for a corner, takes possession, takes on Hingett. And then he took on Klein as well and lost out there.
Yeah, it looked as though that ball just crossed the line. DeCooley trying to dribble past and get himself into the box, but great work from Stefan Mork just to go and close down Brisbane Roar at the right time. It's not about going in there and throwing yourself in it, trying to win the ball back in certain areas. Stefan Mork's timing there was perfect.
Back to the halfway line. Grown in frustration as he lost the ball initially, and his feet by a hefty challenge from Hingett. Out of possession at the feet of Zabala.
Yeah, it's never easy on a surface like this as well, Teo, to try and play out from the back and trying to build things by playing first time around the corners, but there is a lot of space in behind this Adelaide United backline if they can just find the right pass. Brisbane Roar.
Berenguer and Brissett. Ability. Lucas Harrington now gets the win probability. Adelaide favoured by the numbers. Historically, 28 wins to Brisbane's 20, 12 draws. As we see a foul here. Tellingly, the all-time head-to-head goals, 78 for Brisbane, 80 for Adelaide. So it's razor thin between these two.
Yeah, Ryan Kiddo there, stepping all the way out, having to foul Jelicic there. That gives Brisbane Roar another opportunity to swing one in. And this is where they have to try and get something right before the end of the season. No headed goals this campaign for the Roar.
Given how good Lucas Harrington is in the air in defence, he's only 17, so what's he like as an attacking target? He's lined up just outside the penalty area here, hoping to sweep in late. Here comes the free kick. It was Ability who was the target, but there was an offside flag breaking it all down.
Something you don't want to see from a set piece is somebody getting caught in an offside position and they're trying to put that little block on. You can see Zabala coming in, trying to push out the big man in the middle and allowing other people to creep around. You want to try and do that. You've got to be a little bit more cute not to get the referee's attention.
Two Adelaide players appealing for a foul. Cooley, the one who prevails with the referee's whistle. See Stephen Moore has made a right mess of his coral kit already. He's picking up a bit of mud after this crash to the ground.
Oh, he'll love this. He'll love playing against one of his former clubs, Stephen Moore, and getting that goal last week as well. You can see when he scores the goals for Adelaide United, their team just shifts into a bit more of a confident mood. And I think he's going to be key here tonight. If he can get himself forward into the right positions, he might get himself another goal.
It's already his best scoring season by 1. 7 goals passing his previous best. Here he is on the ball right now, Stephen Moore. To Cooley. Moore. Kikianis tries for the incisive pass. Yull was making a run. It's good vision from the centre-back to try and thread the eye of the needle, but not quite.
You love to see it. You love to see somebody trying to penetrate that back line with a beautifully weighted pass along the deck. Just maybe a little bit too much zip on it, but he really appreciates that, Johnny Yull. It's a good ball.
Well, having seen 10 minutes of Adelaide, Eric, are you convinced that this is the 11 that can find them a goal without Goodwin and Clough, given both are seated on the bench at present?
Yeah, I'm not sure, and we won't be sure until after the game we get to speak to Carl Vitt why he left them on the bench, but you know, perhaps he thinks about the role that they need to play defensively here first. You know, Brisbane Roar, second last on the table. Most people would think that's a game where you go and score goals, but maybe with the likes of Abubakar pressing like he is here, you need to have a little bit more defence in mind and maybe a bit more strategy going forward. And, you know, they get their chances, but at the other end, they're conceding them as well.
To Cooley here, the step over and burst of acceleration. Great pass, Parias, it's in. Took a big deflection off Matt Acton. It should go down as Dylan Parias' goal. And it doesn't matter that the ace and the king are not out on the bench, because Adelaide have taken the lead regardless. And they have sliced open the Brisbane Roar for the opener.
Well, Parias just there, unmarked on the Harvey Norman replay, just ghosting in at the far post. Nobody's had a look at him and to try and check where he's going to arrive. A great run by Takulin. What a pass that is across the face of goal. Not easy to find space inside the 6-yard box. Nobody in there defending for the Roar yet again. And Matty Acton can only watch that one hit him and go into the back of the net, but it's exactly where you want your right full-back to be. Dylan Parias just shutting the back door and throwing away the key.
And it should go down as his goal. It's a shot on target, regardless of the direction change it took, deflecting in off Matt Acton. So there are Dylan Parias' numbers. He's enjoying Adelaide, and he's made a good impression this season. As you can see there, it's all business on the Reds bench. But goal number 4 of the campaign, and Dylan Parias' first since the 1st of February. He enjoys playing against Brisbane Roar. It's his 3rd career. Here's Sam Klein looking for the instant response, and Berenguer's in the pocket. Berenguer, Jay O'Shea, and the follow-up is over. Somehow, from Florin Berenguer, perhaps the last player you'd expect to miss an open net.
Just incredible. What a response this would have been. It was Klein getting forward, bursting onto that pass, and finds a really important pass to Berenguer, and it's O'Shea. It's getting there, defending right on the goal line. I think from Kikianis, trying to get that little block in there, and stops the goalkeeper from being sighted, but over the crossbar from Berenguer. He's got to score that.
Well, he's probably the best technician on the pitch and one of the best technicians in the A-League, and it just bobbled wrong for him. What do you put it down to?
Well, it's a lot of things, but the big factor for me there is Adelaide United. What were they doing? When you've scored a goal, you cannot allow the other team to come back into the game, and they're coming back into it again, the Roar. This time, it's Takulli helping out his defence with a tackle. Ivanovic, return pass was misdirected. Ability. Calvert's out of the technical area. If he was not getting overly emotional about the goal, he's certainly up and activated by his team's defending in the aftermath. And now a long ball.
is going to have the Roar potentially, and again, Jelicic. Players get goal side. Abubakar holds fire, waits for support. And now he leaves it with Jelicic. Brissett calling for the pass. He's in space, in the box. Brissett frees his feet. What a goal! This young man is selling Brisbane a world of hope. Jacob Brissett draws the game level. It's just his second goal in the Isuzu UTE League, and you feel like the more game time he gets, the more special moments he will provide.
The lead did not last long at all, again, for Adelaide United, falling on their own sword. It was a really good play here on the Harvey Norman replay, well kept alive by Abubakar, and getting it into the feet of the danger man, Brissett, who got himself for the assists in the last game, just opened himself up and looked right into that corner. He's so dangerous in these areas. A great overlapping run from Zabala opens up that opportunity, but he doesn't try and smash it. He doesn't try and drill it. He just caresses it into the corner, and Brisbane Roar are back in this game. It's 1-1.
Well, it's not like they didn't give Adelaide fair warning. Erenger's miss becomes a moot point almost immediately. And there's a one-eyed celebration there. Of course, he's a Sydney-sider originally, Brissett, so he's doing his former club, Sydney FC, a big favour here.
And they are just checking this, I think, Tayo, as they do every single goal.
Ben Abraham is our VAR official, so
that's a mile onside.
Yeah, you think the number 3 in the centre circle, Bart Brands, is playing that pass onside. Is there another pass later in the move which has captured the attention? Namely, the one that finds Brissett's.
Oh, he looks like he's in it. Oh, it's going to be close. No, he's clearly onside. It's just great footwork too, to manufacture 3 or 4 Adelaide shirts to come at you and to find a little acre of space, and he does it so well. The last week he went and had that assist and went onto his left foot and cut it back for Sam Klein, if you remember. Now he's gone and done it himself on the inside.
Moment of truth. Well, we can't hear Casey Rybelt's decision, but it's going to be offside.
I am not convinced. That is a backside and a foot, and it looks like that's... I mean, at what point are we going to go and give that to the attacking side and give them, you know, that opportunity? It must have been millimetres.
Oh, it's one squat in the gym for Dylan Perez, and that's the difference between a goal and no goal, Eric.
I'm still not convinced that line was any different. But anyway, it's back to 1-0, is it?
That's an anticlimax, isn't it? Brissett's goal is chalked off.
Oh, dear.
And he's going to have to, I guess, given that he is, you know, only 19 and that only would have been his second goal in the A-League. We'll stay with this play, but then I'll ask you about sort of emotionally how you have to reset and deal with the setback of having that taken off you, because it was such an outpouring of emotion when he scored.
I don't think you can. You've just got to try and wash it away and know that you're capable of going and getting a goal again and being able to create chances, as he has been able to most of this second half of the season, Jacob Brissett. So he's just got to clean it out and try and get himself in the box where he does most of his dangerous work.
In the blink of an eye, it's a corner at the other end. Johnny Yull will be Adelaide's corner taker. This would be a hammer blow to the Brisbane morale if they can score a second. Yull in swinger, Klein, and up and under header. Kitto, Jovanovic to Cooley, and now a little pop shot there from Barnett, which sails out. And so this Adelaide goal and no Brisbane equaliser, here's what it has done to the table. Adelaide back in the 6, and they are level on points with Melbourne victory, albeit from an extra game played.
Yeah, they're right in the precipice there. Adelaide United, they need this result. They really do. And when things go your way, in instances like that, you just feel like it could be their night again. And for Brisbane Roar, they just need to get back to playing well, get the ball up the other end a little bit quicker, and ask Adelaide United a few more questions in that back line, because I think with the pace that they have and the directness of Jacob Brissett and Abu Bakr now up front, there's some players that can cause problems.
Friends. Alagich stepped in and received the pass from Bartoli, and now great transition play from the Reds. Parias, 1 goal already, cuts onto his left, and maybe a little hungry. He had options in the middle, but he's the goal scorer.
Oh, he's got to look for that extra pass, as his teammates were doing in the first instance. What a ball that is, threaded through from the midfield, and just sends Zabala down, right sliding onto his heels. Probably shouldn't have gone down. You've got to stay on your feet on that surface, but he was so desperate to get at that. And then Parias has got to have a little bit more composure there. He had 2 or 3 options inside the box.
Alagich again winning possession back. Barnett. Parias. Steered central. Mork, back heel, can't find Alagich. Jay O'Shea winning it back for Brisbane. Abubakar. Now Brissett. Harrington sends it to the right flank. O'Shea and Klein. Jay O'Shea sees Hingett making a move, ignores that. Harrington. Zabala. He's got Abubakar on his outside and uses him. Now the return ball. Made half-hearted appeals for offside, but play continues. Brissett. Trying to weave his way into the penalty area, but a corner is his reward.
Really good play. Positive, purposeful, and his teammates tried to help him out there. It was Zabala doing a couple of overlaps, not sure which direction Brissett's going, and the Adelaide United defenders weren't sure as well. Parias can only give away a corner, so that's really positive.
Brisbane corner. Jelicic trying to find a way through at the near post. Adelaide had 2 defenders and the keeper all collapsing onto the ball. Jelicic again. Evades Jovanovic. Ball stuck between the feet. Sends it back out to Brissett. Zabala. Finds Abubakar, but his first touch of big one that takes him out of the area. Long phase of play here in attack for Brisbane. Brissett, not quite in shooting range. Defers to Hingett. Adelaide pinned back at the edge of their penalty area for now. O'Shea, Berenguer. Jay O'Shea directing traffic from midfield. Pointing and gesticulating.
Yeah, it's much better from Adelaide United in terms of their shape. You can see everybody behind the ball working hard, communicating, not allowing that pass into Asuma Abubakar, who has really changed the way that Brisbane Roar operate. They've given licence to get that ball forward. He's stretching the opponents, making it long, which gives options like this in between the lines.
I don't want to give up possession just yet. Toe on the ball for Adelaide. Breaks up a run of about 20 to 25 passes, but immediately it's back at Brisbane feet. Ability. Brissett, a loose touch, and now Adelaide can at least possess the ball.
Yeah, nothing you could do with that one. Just fired out to him on the wrong side, and yeah, that's the danger man, out in this left-hand side. I think for Brisbane, possibly look to go up the right a little bit more and try and get the likes of Jelicic back into his position out there. He's been floating around and swapping around quite a lot as well.
Ethan Alagic. Brissett, his touch not decisive. Piraeus, his giving up the ball.
Alagic in midfield's done really well just to switch the play a couple of times, and it happens really quickly, playing the ball in between or switching in the air. I think for Brisbane Roar in that transition moment, they know Adelaide United, that's where they can punish them.
Friends. Centre back to centre back as Ability lobs it straight to Alagic. Now Alagic trying to make something happen. On with Johnny Yull. Barnett. DeCooley. Nice 1-2 with Johnny Yull. DeCooley cut it back. Kiddo. Fresh air swing as the ball is cleared. Klein. Little lofted lob into the attacking half. A little bit too long for Abubakar to go chase. Mork round the corner. Can't link up with Yull. Bit of a blind pass. Gives possession back to Adelaide, and they have a throw.
It's really good movement down that side, and particularly when they're building up, they've switched sides quite a few times. Piraeus one side, DeCooley on the other side as well. And the more they can get those two guys in positions inside Brisbane Roar's 18-yard box, they're going to cause problems.
Jovanovic pursued by Ability. And the free kick goes Adelaide's way.
It's a great run. It's exactly where you want Jovanovic running onto things, into the channel, working hard, trying to force Brisbane Roar's defenders to come out and foul and take them out of their positions. Now, they get a free kick from that area, but it just puts in the mind of that Brisbane backline that they're going to have to work hard tonight to chase after people.
So a wide free kick. Johnny Yull, the right-footed option. Ethan Alagic, the left. We've already seen Yull on corner taking duty from this side of the pitch. And it is Yull. And a near post header from Berenguer sends it behind for a corner kick.
It was a good header in the end from Berenguer. There were 2 or 3 players unmarked there. Vrins was unmarked, as was, I think it was Kiddo in that near post as well. That zone, you've got to get it right, and you've got to get your distances spot on. That was a good exercise.
A two-pronged corner here. And again, it's Yull, outswinger, and headed away emphatically. Berenguer, bit of a magnet to the ball, winning consecutive headers at defensive set pieces. Now it's Brissett's turn. Yull. Adelaide happy to go backwards. works. Alligic is finding space in midfield. He distributes out to Moore. Barnett.
And that's a danger sign, I think, Taylor, when your midfielders are getting time and space to be able to put things in the forward line. See another run from Jovanovic, but he's running the channel tonight. That's an option for the fullbacks or the back line of Adelaide to look for their strikers making that run. But in the middle of the park, it's really difficult for Klein and O'Shea. If they're going to play as a number 6 and a number 6, then somebody's going to have, you know, that extra man, and it's Adelaide at the moment getting that space.
And they have been patient, Adelaide. We've seen them turn and go backwards a few times. The luxury of a 1-0 advantage, rather than needing to chase a goal. But it is only one, and Brisbane have shown us plenty through almost half an hour to suggest that they are a threat. Vartuli with a nervous moment. Jelicic finds his time. O'Shea, Billity, Zavala making width, as is Brissett, and that's where the ball is going. Jacob Brissett. Zavala ran right through his path, but he is not perturbed. This is where Brisbane are attacking 60% down the left side, which is where Jacob Brissett has been lining up through 30 minutes. Again, they favour this left side of the pitch. Abubakar is going over for a piece of the action. And even though he slipped initially, tried to take the game on, didn't make a great deal of headway.
I really enjoy watching him play, Abubakar, because he's getting himself involved, going and looking for the ball out wide, trying to swap with Jacob Brissett.
One ball here that will lure Max Vartuli out of his penalty area, and he heads that one into the stretch of bearers before herring back onto his goal line.
Well, Berenguer wanted to play that one quickly, and Brissett was a little bit too close to him. The keeper was still tracking back, but you can see this blueprint for Brisbane Roar from one side to the other. It's textbook about going one side. No, the opportunity's not on. We'll go out the other side, but it's finding that penetrating pass. Can they find it?
And now Hingett's cross, Abubakar! And Kikyanis able to clear it over his own crossbar. Out for a corner, and his goalkeeper, Vartuli, goes and says thank you to the young centre-back.
There's not much else you can do here. That penetrating pass coming from O'Shea and the cross coming in. And it was Abubakar just lining that one up behind it. He didn't have to move his legs. He just generated all that power from his lower half and put it right in the corner. Kikyanis, goal line saver.
Corner taken short. And deflected clear by Alligic. Jelicic, second time ball. Klein was up, but he was out-jumped on that occasion by Kikyanis. And now Jovanovic. Can he forge a path as a lone man? He's going to hold the ball up and get caught 1-on-2. Brisbane, I don't want to counter on counter too quickly. Brissett, can he change the pace of the attack? Abubakar. Now the Brisbane midfield drift forward. Abubakar's got options. Can he find one of them is the question. It's all him at the moment. Berenguer, O'Shea does very nicely. Abubakar gave everyone the slip, and he scores! And the flag is up. So we've had one disallowed for VAR and one disallowed by the assistant referee, Joey Lee, over on the outer side.
It was absolutely brilliant football from Brisbane Roar. It was Abubakar with little twinkle toes going through, and that pass, you can see that leg and arm in an offside position. It's a great line from Adelaide United, but a beautiful pass from O'Shea, just threading it through. But it was so nice to see how they kept that play alive, Brisbane Roar. They could have easily lost the ball 2, 3, 4 times, but this man here, he's lively tonight.
And a great call with the naked eye from the assistant referee. Ruben Zadkovic still encouraged. There's a strange feeling around this game. Adelaide has the lead, but it feels like Brisbane are the one that look far more threatening.
What's that now? 2 disallowed goals and a sitter from Berenguer.
And the goal line clearance from Kikyanis.
Yeah, it's all Brisbane Roar when you look at the chances, but story of the season, clinical timing in the key moments. Have they got it right?
They've got just over 10 minutes of regulation before half-time to try to draw this game level. Klein wheels onto the ball. Berenguer can't outpoint Kikianis. They got entangled with each other. Berenguer certainly the more aggrieved of the parties. Adelaide have the ball. Barnett. There's the possession numbers. Brisbane in front on that count, not overwhelmingly so. Zavala.
There's not much connection for Adelaide at the moment. Stephen Mork's only touched the ball, I think it's 18 times, and it's about trying to find your key players. You can see Stephen Mork on the other side waiting for somebody to find him on the shoulder on the outside of Samuel Klein. But it's the pressure coming from Brisbane Roar that's been really good tonight in these sorts of areas, not allowing easy passes to go in.
Great footwork from Brissett. And then the pass, a letdown. We have the crowd eating out of his hand there, and they wanted more, but instead it's Adelaide on the counter-attack. Mork, DeCooley. Step overs at the other end, but also no end products. DeCooley has to go and chase the ball back down.
And that was really good defending there from Jack Hingett. Not easy going one-on-one. Somebody with pace going at you inside the box, and he's already been done one side, getting that ball fired across to Kuli. So Brisbane Roar trying to remain strong in that back line.
Young finds Parias, first time ball, cleared away by Billity, Adelaide goal scorer.
There's that little nutmeg from Brissett, and he got right through the heart of midfield, just couldn't find a key pass into Berenguer, and they're creating the best chances on this left-hand side. Just keep giving the ball to the young man.
Parias, very difficult pass to control, and it skims off his chest. And out.
Yeah, DeCooley has been lively tonight. Step over, whipping that one across for the opener for Parias, and getting himself involved in a lot of dribbling moments, a lot of through balls and entry points into the box, and that's his stats for this year. He's had a reasonable amount of action compared with the amount of starts that he's had. Not many.
And tonight's career game number 35, just the 2 goals. So that's the one element of his game he would love to be scoring on a more frequent basis, and I think quite simply he'd be getting more starts if he did score more.
Certainly, you know, you expect that from your frontline players, but as a winger, getting that assist tonight, if it goes down as one, is a special one, because that's where you want your wingers, getting in the box. But he's been subbed on 13 times. Not easy when you're coming off the bench.
Young, Adelaide starting to bend general play in their favour. Mork with a block, Jovanovic trying to profit from it. Immediately blocked by Harrington. And Cooley, well, that's not his finest there, perhaps looking for a deflection off Hingett. Couldn't quite find one.
Lots of white shirts there, pinning Brisbane Roar back. I thought Alagic there was in a better position to shoot, actually. Mork on the edge of the box, Jovanovic trying to step in, and at times Johnny Yull, you can see him coming across into the middle, operating in that middle area. It's a great touch from Abubakar.
Jelicic. Minute, or 39th minute, you can hear the applause for Dylan Tombides. Same thing happened Perth Glory's final home game of the season. The DT38 Foundation, dt38.org, remembering the young man lost to cancer in 2014. He was 20 years of age. Youth international representative of Australia, and on the books of West Ham. So we see a long shot here, and the ball, well, it ends up a throw-in, and Brisbane, I think they're hustling here because they don't want to get pinned in by Adelaide, but not really going to have much of a choice. Adelaide have advanced all the chess pieces up the board, and so the trap is on.
Well, let's see how Brisbane navigate this one. They've got to try and get to half-time with something. They certainly deserve to go into the sheds at least with a goal up against Adelaide's opener. And they've been really good value in the final third. They've just got to try and be a little bit more clinical and stay on side, simply.
Long diagonal. It's not going to have the distance to get over the head of Piraeus. All of a sudden, Adelaide looking like they may well consolidate this lead to half-time, having absorbed some very good and near misses from Brisbane, and also a couple of close shaves that required the intervention of the referees. Vrenz. Kiddo hurried into a clearance.
It's good pressure from Jelicic, trying to help his team get some field advantage. A lot of play starting off in Brisbane's half, and then once it gets to these positions, Adelaide are quite happy to try and put everybody behind the ball. But it's out here on the left-hand side they've had a little trouble with Brissett.
And he goes to work again, stomps and props this time, and waits for Zavala. And Zavala showing what he can do. A low cross is fired away by Vrenz. Klein. Ability. Jelicic. Loves to drift inside from the wing, does Keegan Jelicic. Abubakar. Jay O'Shea, right through the middle. Berenguer with a beautiful touch, and he just couldn't set it out into the path of Abubakar.
Yeah, it's fantastic defending from Vrenz there. Jay O'Shea just playing that one through, and Berenguer just flicking one around the corner. Abubakar started that move and almost finished it off.
Berenguer with another chance. Abubakar steps around one challenge, ball bobbles, and it's cleared by Vartuli. Ability shoulder to shoulder, standing his ground. You can see his thighs bandaged tonight. He's going to bounce back up and get another chance here. Jay looking a little proppy. We saw him pick up a big knock to the shin where the shin guard wasn't protecting him on Thursday against Western United, but he seemed absolutely unfussed about bringing the egg back down to size and being ready for tonight.
The Easter egg, you reckon?
It's the one egg he didn't want over Easter, I imagine, the one he was trying to get rid of. But watch this space. He's such an engine room of their team. Half-time is in sight, so he's moving pretty freely here as he sprints up to the ball, but it's become awkward because Alagic is challenging and Acton has to clear. Brissett run under the ball. Alagic, Yull. Johnny Yull trying to find a burst, but Zavala won't let him past. That's great work from Piraeus to lose all and sundry. Borg went for the first time finish, but he mishit the ball. Brisbane can counter. Jelicic running into a trap from Adelaide. Not much on offer from his teammates, so spins back into the middle. O'Shea. Zavala hits the sideline and is able to get the better of Yull. Jay O'Shea. Berenguer. Barnett interrupts the Brisbane attack. DeCooley. Trying to fire a pass forward, but Jovanovic was covered.
That's a really progressive football there from both sides, looking to play quickly in between the lines, big switches to isolate people, and the movement as well from Adelaide to get into the box was swift. It's all about Parias. He plays like a winger at times, just wants to get forward in the final third a lot.
Ball's going to run on here for DeCooley. Is he away at speed though? He's got ability goal side. He's going to shoot regardless. And Acton is equal to it, parrying behind for a corner.
That's a big save before half-time. And it looked as though it took a little bit of time to get there. DeCooley running forward with the football and is waiting for options. You can see him put his head up and he just thought, no, I'm going to go this one alone and try and get this one on target. And on target he was. Possibly if he'd gone across the goalkeeper, he might have had a better opportunity to score.
So a third corner of the half as the game ticks into stoppage time at the end of the first 45. Yull's corner. Friends. Cleared away from Jovanovic. From Berenguer. Klein. Kikyanis. Jovanovic. Can't volley it to his own advantage. DeCooley, important defending from the front. Vrens. And this time, Billity makes a decisive clearance. And it's going to find the line. We've already ticked 25 seconds into 1 additional minute.
I'm sure Adelaide are happy just to see this one out, Taya. Get to the half-time break and reassess their strategy. But Brisbane must be going in there just feeling all sorts of frustration, particularly from the coaching staff. They've done everything right to get themselves in positions to score.
Yeah, it's an odd game. The team playing seemingly the more convincing football between the two penalty areas finds themselves behind. And Adelaide may yet double their money. Ball is cleared. 1 minute of stoppage is up. And the Brisbane Roar, who have not defeated Adelaide at Suncorp Stadium since February of 2020, will need a come-from-behind win if they are to end that streak tonight, because the visitors have the lead. Jacob Brissett had a goal chalked off, as did Asama Abubakar. Controversy about the first, not so much. A clear-cut offside for the second. And it leaves Adelaide sitting in the top 6 halfway through this one. Brisbane Roar 0, Adelaide United 1. Stay with us on Paramount Plus. We'll recap it all during the halftime show on the other side of this short break.
weekly kickoff every Wednesday. All your Socceroos, Matildas and A-League action.
He's going to go for it. Oh, hat-trick. What a fantastic goal.
Plus all the best bits from the beautiful game from all around the globe.
Oh, wow.
That's the weekly kickoff every Wednesday on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus.
Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show. Let's get into the Harvey Norman highlights with the current scoreline. Reading, Brisbane Roar 0, Adelaide United 1. Eric Partaloo, Adelaide had the cutting edge when they needed it in a first half that was full of incident.
Yeah, it was first 10 minutes pretty much even Stevens, and then Dukali just put that one right across the face of goal. I'm not sure how Billitsy or Harrington don't clear that one. They just sort of watch that ball coming in, but watch his run here. Dukali getting the ball out wide and doing what every winger should try and do, is just get it to the byline and cut one across the face of goal. Good to see Dylan Perias arriving at the right time as well. He's navigated himself forward quite a few times in that area. Got a little bit lucky with the finish, but he'll take it, and that gave them the lead, Adelaide United.
Perias' fourth goal of the Isuzu UTE A-League campaign. The only goal of the game so far. What about the underlying numbers? You can see Brisbane Roar ahead on XG. Only one shot on target, but that doesn't nearly tell the story of how many chances they had in the first half.
No, it certainly doesn't. It should have been at least 2 or 3 goals for Brisbane Roar. A couple of disallowed ones. One sitter for Berengay as well. But, you know, Brisbane Roar have dominated the possession, but it doesn't really matter when you're not scoring the goals.
So here is that Florian Berengay chance he just mentioned. And, well, for such a technician, it is a surprise that he couldn't get his step right there.
It comes at him quickly. I love the little play and go there and go and get the rebound, but it's actually his touch that puts him into that position, and he just needs to lift it over Max Fatuli. It was already down, the goalkeeper was down. And then this opportunity here from Brissett, all individual, going and curling the ball right in the corner. What a special finish it was. But in the build-up, as you can see, he started in an offside position and came back very late. I'm still not convinced, Taya.
So a razor-thin offside denies Jacob Brissett what would have been just his second A-League men's goal, and that's the disbelief when it was officially ruled out. And it wasn't the only time Brisbane would hit the net in this first half, but have the assistant referee's flag foiling them.
He's been great to watch, Abubakar. I would have loved to have seen more of him had he signed earlier. And they've been at the club for a couple of months, and he's really changed the dynamics of the side. That line, again, is just so close, and it looks as though that goes to VAR, which it did. That's in an offside position, but a good finish.
So those are the chances gone begging for the Brisbane Roar. Ruben Zadkovic will be hoping that they can find their shooting boots. Here's the Paramount Plus player index. It is largely dominated by Adelaide. What do you make of the individual rankings in the game?
Yeah, I'm happy with Perias there. I think Brissett's got to be in the top 5 for me. He's had most of the action, got himself forward. If that goal is counted, I'm sure that player index will be a little bit high for a few of the Brisbane players.
So that is the Paramount Plus player index. We will keep an eye on that. Don't forget, on Paramount Plus, second leg semi-finals of the Coppa Italia are live and exclusive on Paramount Plus this week. And we went pitch side at the San Siro in the first leg to get a taste of the Milan derby.
Welcome to the biggest day on Milan's calendar. Italy's most famous football rivalry, the Derby della Madonnina. Milan and Inter, two famous clubs that have enjoyed over a century-long rivalry, and tonight they meet again. The first leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final. Both Milan and Inter call this incredible venue the world-renowned San Siro home. And tonight, an electric feel in the air, as always, as both teams vie for a place in this season's cup final.
And we're underway after a slight false start. Milan playing from right to left, their red and black rossoneri stripes.
Playing as the home team in this first leg, Milan have the support of their passionate Curva Sud as they hope to deny their rivals' dreams of a treble this season.
Maxi Menes, Fofana, Tammy Abraham, the Super Cup hero for Milan, delivers in the Coppa Italia, and Milan are one up here. Here's Correa, now Cialanoglu! It had to be him! Milan fans have never forgiven him for making the switch to Inter, and not for the first time. He has come back to hurt his former employers. A trademark rocket from Inter's number 20.
So plenty of drama in this fixture, as always, though they have plenty more to come. Half-time in the tight Enzo Square between Milan and Inter, the second leg, scheduled for April 24 Australian time. The winner to take on either Bologna or Empoli in May's Coppa Italia final, a match you can watch live and exclusive on Paramount+.
Yes, so the second leg of the semi-final. Set your alarms for Inter against AC Milan, and then you also have Bologna and Empoli on Friday morning at 5 a.m. Here's what's coming up in round 28 of the Isuzu UTE A-League. Mariners on bye, MacArthur hosting the Victory. Last chance saloon for MacArthur. The Roar are back at home against the Phoenix. Jets Wanderers, huge for the Wanderers. City Adelaide a 6-pointer. Auckland can win the Premier's Plate with a draw against the Glory. And Western United against Sydney FC, a blockbuster in Tarneet, as the Sky Blues head to Melbourne's Outer West. And here's how the ladder looks at half-time. Auckland, as you can see, 6 clear with 2 to play. Adelaide United in the top 6 at present, level on points with Victory, and now just 1 behind the Wanderers, so they will all be looking over their shoulder if they can't take care of business. Sydney on the outside looking in, and they're putting on and touching on to everything orange for the second half, hoping the Brisbane Roar can do them a big favour in this one. A second 45 of football that's coming up soon at the end of your Hungry Jacks halftime show. Stay with us because the action is on the other side of this short break.
It's a good day to fly the week on the see you jump just one more time.
And scores!
Let me see you jump just one more time. When I say jump, you say how high.
Standing finish!
It's a good day to fly the week coming alive.
Lines it up. It's a great ball. It's a great ball.
Jacob Brissett, the action man in the first half, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. Adelaide United holding a 1-0 lead away at Suncorp against the Brisbane Roar. Both teams back out for the second half and seemingly unchanged from the 11s that started the bench, meaning Zach Clough and Archie Goodwin are both still waiting in the wings for Adelaide as the second half kicks off, and the Brisbane Roar through Jay O'Shea are going on the attack straight away. Eric Partaloo rejoins me, and Eric, we saw in the first half that Brisbane were favouring the left flank, the side that Jacob Brissett was playing on 60% of the time. Would you imagine there's any change of plans after the halftime team talk?
No, they've just got to keep doing that. I think they've just got to keep feeding Jacob Brissett in those areas. You know how good he can be, going direct, as Adelaide do here to start the half. But they've got to deal with a lot more than that in this second half, Tia. It's no secret how poor they've been in second halves of games, Brisbane Roar. So not only do they have to try and claw their way back with finding a goal, they've got to make sure that Adelaide don't score this second one, because after that it could be a very difficult road back.
Brisbane possessing the ball for the first minute of this second half. Billity. Oh, a curious touch. It was neither the start of a dribble or a decisive pass, and it volunteers the ball back to Adelaide. And Ryan Kiddo here. And his pass is drifting out for a Brisbane throw. Zavala. Line pass around the corner, and it's been intercepted by Jay Barnett. Allegich. Johnny Yull.
There was a good moment there for Jacob Brissett and Zabala just to play something forward first time for Beringer. And what happened was they turned back and went towards their own goal. And it just allowed Adelaide United to form their pressure going forward, which is where they've got a lot of their joy. It's a good little rotation that from Adelaide United. But they want to try and get themselves a bit more possession on the ball, Adelaide. I think they can control this game more than what they had done in the first half.
Louis Zavala starting ahead of Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Back for Brisbane Roar tonight. Switch from Thursday. Kikianis. Kiddo. Duguli. Little nutmeg on Jelicic to get the ball back to Kiddo. Now Moore trying to flick the ball on, but ability equal to it. Jelicic hangs down a high ball. Difficult to do so, but he's made it look easy. But the pass here is a letdown. Adelaide intercept. Yull hustling. He's caught in possession. Jelicic making amends. Abubakar. The crowd urging him to go. He's never afraid to take the game on. Klein getting forward in support. Abubakar wants to wheel and deal, and now he finds his way to Hingett. Adelaide now set behind the ball.
He's good to watch, Abubakar, and he could have easily just tried to run at players and lost possession of the ball, but he decided to keep going and recycle it.
Klein can't get the better of Kikianis. Harrington. More an exchange of headers. Harrington half points Jovanovic. Pass by O'Shea is intercepted by Dukuli, and now Barnett. Yull wants to shoot from distance, Johnny Yull. And Acton is down to save.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Really nice movement that was, to get inside from Johnny Yull onto his left foot and just having a crack, testing out Matty Acton early on. That's something they didn't do enough of, I think, in that first half as well. Adelaide United, after scoring so early, they put the brakes on and had to deal with a bit of an onslaught on the left-hand side from Brisbane Roar. And they go down that side again.
Harrington. Yelicic's first touch. Set the ball up for Kiddo. Harrington has it once again. Flick on by Jelicic. Can't quite bring Klein into play. Kikianis trusting his goalkeeper Vartuli, who sweeps the left leg and he finds Harrington. Barnett crashing in. Mork trying to go through Harrington, couldn't succeed. The 17-year-old centre-back might have started something here because Brissett's herring after the ball, but Vartuli quick out of his line.
Yeah, the raps on Harrington continue because that was really good defending. Stepping in, understanding when to go all the way, when to go on foul, when to be physical, and he got it spot on with his challenge and spot on with his tackle on Stefan Mork. Did not take a backward step. So easy to do that when you're a defender, when you feel as though you're isolated. It's so easy to step back and go into your position.
Controlled on the chest by ability. O'Shea. Harrington. Hingert. Harrington stood his ground. Hingert following up. Jelicic. Can't quite connect to 1-2 with Abubakar, and a foul will allow Adelaide to escape this defensive pattern they've been stuck in.
Yeah, Sam Klein's been playing a little bit further up the pitch in this second half. He's tried to get out wide and rotate, if you've noticed, with Jelicic trying to maybe move the Adelaide back four just a little bit as a final third entry. Is very, very similar. And it's Jay O'Shea at the base of the midfield for Brisbane, so Klein's certainly stepping forward.
Jelicic trying to build a head of steam. Tackle comes in from behind, and Alagic is going to concede a free kick, maybe beyond the limits of shooting range.
Well, you never know from this distance and the surface we have at Sutton Court tonight. Could be anything. It's a good run from Jelicic, just draws in the contact. You can see Alagic going down early, so he makes his mind up to keep running forward with the ball in a direction where he's going to make contact and protect the ball away from Adelaide United. It's brilliant work from Jelicic.
Well, Jay O'Shea does have one long-range free kick this season. It's the Newcastle Jets, but it was from a far more central position than this, albeit at about this distance. It's the most recent time he scored in the A-League back in late February. O'Shea, the plan is across. Klein, first head, and the end result is a corner.
He's good in the air as well, the young man. Sam Klein at the far post. There's a good ball in this from Jay O'Shea. Really good shape on it. And he had a couple of options there. The youngster tried to head it back across. Got in the way of his own teammate. I think he hit Harrington and then took a piece of an Adelaide United defender.
Here comes the corner. First head Kikianis. Follow up from O'Shea. Bending wide.
Wow. That would have been special from Jay O'Shea. Such a difficult technique that, and the ball spinning and coming up at you and high in the air. Very difficult to get it up and over. And I think he's always side-footed that in the corner. Can't be sure. It looked as though he did, just to try and guide it in the bottom corner. If they get one here, Brisbane Roar, we're in for a game.
Interestingly, Vartuli not taking the goal kick. Harrington will get a chance at ground level. Berenguer. Jelicic. To forge a path to Abubakar, but there were too many Adelaide players in the way. O'Shea, Brisbane on top at the moment. Still hunting an equalizer. Abubakar. Good hold-up play by the centre forward. What's next? Jelicic. Hingett. Well, the ball runs behind Hingett and out for a goal kick.
Well, you can see what they're trying to do there. Brisbane Roar just wasn't on the same wavelength as that pass, Jack Hingett, and Jelicic needs to play that one in behind into the box. But Abubakar, yet again, just providing that pass in between, holding things up. I'd love to see somebody trying to get forward once he's taken up that position. It's Sammy Klein in the middle of the box there, waiting and hoping that someone finds him. He did really well to swap there with Asuma Abubakar.
Harrington again wins the defensive header. Berenguer back to O'Shea, difficult bounce, and so he goes back to Zavala. Whistle goes here against Zavala, so Adelaide free kick wide on the right.
Johnny Yell does brilliantly there. Just use the touchline as his friend to try and use that space to make Zavala come out and make contact, and it was a really good piece of skill. Adelaide United, that's really what they need to do at certain points in this game, is just trying to slow the Brisbane Roar down, and the longer they do that, the more frustrated they're going to become.
Yull wasting no time over this free kick. And he clears all his teammates in the penalty area. Klein is going to watch it roll out for a throw. Bit of activity on the Brisbane Roar bench. Subs have been sent to go through their paces. Bit of a debate over where the throw-in is to be taken from, as the Brisbane Roar players who are warming up behind the goal at the left of screen continue to wait for their summons to enter the game. Zavala, an unhit pass. Sol presented into trouble and now missing the interception. Yull, well, he can't find Parias, and a little window of opportunity for Adelaide slams shut. Berenguer. Trying to break away from Alagic. The youngsters keeping up. Berenguer keeps the ball. Abubakar. He's going to shoot from distance. No taking that one off him. Asuma Abubakar has brought the Brisbane Roar level. And as has been his customary celebration, he runs over to Coach Ruben Zankovic and wraps him up in a big hug. It's 1-1.
Oh, Abubakar, absolutely brilliant. Gets his fourth of the season. He's certainly not mucking around since joining the Brisbane Roar. And Brisbane Roar was denied a couple in the first half. The Harvey Norman replay just shows him absolutely slashing the ball from 35 yards out. Nobody took him seriously from there. They thought he was going to pass. They thought he was not going to score from that sort of distance. And yes, Max Patulli has to be doing better there, but nobody's been expecting how good this guy is. He means business, and Brisbane Roar, they're back in the game.
Well, he has proven to be a unifying figure. Look at that, even Matt Acton had run down from goal to get involved The 2010 World Cup in the celebration, you love it. And Asuma Abubakar, well, we've seen it's not quite the same effect yet as Kota Mizunuma at Newcastle, but same transfer window, and relatively speaking to how Brisbane were travelling, same sort of uptick.
I know he's come in because Tommy Waddingham's gone overseas, and I might be a little bit selfish here in thinking that, you know, what if those two would have been playing together at the start of the season?
Roar feeling it here. Vartuli's come out. Deflection from Klein. Chaos ensues. And the bounce is kind for Alagic. Alagic clears. Bubakar, exactly who you would want with the ball. It's going to come back for a foul. Adelaide, are they going to keep their heads here? Because the challenge is coming from Brisbane.
Yeah, a bit of urgency needed from Adelaide United. They need to switch on here. It was something that they didn't do against the Phoenix at home when they were 2-0 up. They just sort of switched off in those key moments, and getting those little bits wrong in the game can cost you dearly. Abubakar just holding the ball up and gaining a little handball, I think it was, from Adelaide United. If they get one here, the Roar, wow.
There's the defensive frailties of both teams. We did say to expect goals tonight. One apiece at the hour mark. How many more before the night is out? Jelicic lifts in the free kick. Vartuli goes, and the touch is wide. It was Klein's chance, but he couldn't get it goal bound.
I'm not sure how much he knew about this one coming in late. Probably saw it late as well, just through a body. It was a goalkeeper again. Vartuli coming out, not claiming, misjudging the flight of it, and just gets stuck in a little bit of traffic. But I tell you what, Parias does well just to put off Klein, who did not have a free open look at goal. That could have been a goal from a set piece. They needed Brisbane Roar.
Solid header from Billity. Now down in the corner. Ball does worm its way out. It's going to be an Adelaide throw. Roar are going to keep the ball in their attacking half. Zabala and Friends headers back and forth, and another volley, which is going to hug the line but not find a way out. So Harrington around the corner. Alagic. Jovanovic, bullocking work, and now Abubakar sets it through to Jelicic. He's forced wide. Jelicic deflected cross. It's going to land with the danger man though, Abubakar. And he gets his ankles tapped. It's going to be a free kick. Kiddo can't believe it, but the Roar have another set piece.
Everything's going their way at the moment. The home side, you can hear the crowd getting behind it. Abubakar involved yet again. Just wondering if Ruben Zadkovic is going to go to his bench right now, particularly when they're in a little bit of an upward trajectory here. They've got another chance from a set piece.
Kicking Jelicic over the dead ball. Jay O'Shea's outside the box for any spillage. Who wants that first header? Adelaide have got all hands back on the pump here. They do not want to go behind. Jelicic, it's going to skim through the entire line, and Parias, last one in that line, clears away. O'Shea, Hingett. Klein has moved out to the left in broken play. Oh, and nearly had Brissett going on the underlapping run. Instead, counter-attack, Johnny Yull. Are Adelaide away, Parias motoring ahead of the ball. Yull bides his time, and he's going to get caught by Zavala. Abubakar, not quite for Brissett. Jacob Brissett's been quieter in the 19 minutes of this second half, and that was nearly him back engaged with the game.
A good interception there from Bart Friends, just stopping that attack from occurring. But Adelaide United, gee, they need to get together. They need some urgency, and they need to get players like Stefan Mork and Jay Barnett and these types of players in the middle a little bit more involved. They've got to play to their strengths and try and create a few more chances. They are here.
Caught a look of 2 double subs, but Adelaide, are they away? Flags down for Jovanovic. Can he finish? He can't! He catches the post, and it was offside. And I think we all suspected it was offside, but the way they judge it now, they let the attack run its course. And the flag did go up against Jovanovic.
Yeah, saved by the flag. Oh, it's so tight yet again. Wow. I mean, from the naked eye, did he get a call? Did he not? It didn't matter. Didn't finish the chance. Matty Acton spread his body really wide. Jovanovic has got to bury those sorts of opportunities just to give himself some confidence, if nothing else.
So action stations over on the bench. It's a triple sub for the Brisbane Roar. Ben Halloran coming on for Florin Berenguer. Jacob Brizette's night is over. He leaves the game with Henry Hoare coming on. And Anthony Burke-Gilroy is also entering the game. Louis Zavala is taking his leave around the outer side. Adelaide are making changes as well. Yaya Dukuli is leaving and Ben Falami is coming on. And we saw Archie Goodwin there. Calvier looking unmoved. Archie Goodwin has entered the game as well. So tied for the lead in the Golden Boot is Archie Goodwin. 13 strikes this season. Level with Adrian Segicic of Sydney FC. Funnily enough, the very 2 teams that are battling each other for this spot in the top 6. And Luka Jovanovic's last act of the game was to put that shot into the post, albeit one that was flagged offside. Might have been a different story going to VAR had he scored, Eric, but it's the moment has passed and the game remains 1-1.
Yeah, they're the chances you want to bury. I think it's a really good chance because it catches Brisbane Roar off guard. That backline's been pretty solid and has got their distances pretty much spot on tonight. It was unusual they got caught so high up, but in the end it wasn't. It was actually a good line.
Halloran, first act in the game is to win a foul. Here's the live ladder. Sydney FC currently holding 6th on goal difference from Adelaide United, and as you can see there, it's 14 goals difference, so quite significant. And this is Adelaide's penultimate game of the season. They finish with Melbourne City away this weekend, and then of course they have a bye in the final round.
Wow, yeah, it really means a lot this game, doesn't it? They have to try and get 3 points here. That Melbourne City game just seems like a grand final to get themselves or keep themselves in the 6, depending on how the results go before that stage of the weekend.
Wide free kick then. Roar have been on top in both the build-up to and ever since the equalizer. O'Shea roosts it from deep. Klein rises to the header, and Vartuli catches it at the top of his leg.
He's getting on the end of a few things now, Sam Klein, and possibly would have been pinned for maybe a foul in that one, but good build-up that from Adelaide United. Walk on the ball, which is good to see. They need more of that, getting him involved a bit further up the pitch.
Ricochet off Klein means Hinkett has to backtrack. Goodwin is going to try and close the keeper, but Acton sweeps it all the way with his right leg, and it's going to bounce on very kindly here for Jelicic. Out to the left he goes, and he takes on Parias. Jelicic doubles back. Halloran, O'Shea. Burke-Gilroy had roamed forward as the left wing back, so he takes the throw in quickly. Square pass, a little telegraphed, and Henry Hoare caught out. And now Archie Goodwin off the bench. Goodwin, one attacker against 2 defenders, and whose ability was enough to usher him away from the penalty area. A corner, but good one-on-one defending.
That's fantastic work from Jose Ability. Nothing worse when you're staring down the barrel of the league's top scorer. Sitting there, the pass-through was perfect. Again, that back line tested. Brisbane Roar committing a few men and numbers forward. and possibly just went on the outside of him too, which helped ability to make that challenge. But he did well not to dive in and to force him into going on that right side away from goal. Good defending.
Corner tumbles to the near post. Brisbane out of the box, and Yull sails that long and out. 20 minutes of regulation to go. So we're at the business end of the game already.
Just looking at their last couple of chances, Adelaide United, Carl Viet must be thinking, is this going to be our night? Because they're getting in behind, they're going in one-on-one against defenders in the box. What more can you ask for? And maybe it's been a story of their season conceding goals, but scoring them certainly hasn't been a problem. You know they're going to get themselves more opportunities in this second half for sure.
Harrington's pass, headed from Kiddo, now Allegich. Harrington again. Through the right, go Adelaide. Parias. Goodwin was moving in the middle, but raw defence. The angle's covered on the Parias cross. He's just a different proposition to defend inside the penalty area, though, Archie Goodwin. If he can get the service, we know he's a good finisher. Just
needs to get past Hossein Bility. At the moment, he's a magnet to the ball. There he is there, Goodwin. That's why he's brought him on, I think, and had a plan all along that this second half, if the scores were locked or if Brisbane have the energy, it's around about that 60-minute mark that they struggle in games. It looks as though they've changed that and turned the corner in the contest. They've gone and scored one. Can they get another one?
Goodwin. Challenge comes in from O'Shea and spills the ball out to Halloran. Show has been unfavourable to these two teams. So many points dropped, so many goals conceded in the final 15 minutes of regulation and stoppage time. These are the two worst defenders in the competition, Eric.
Yeah, lots to look forward to there. Action aplenty, you can be sure of that. Lots of chances and lots of fresh legs on the pitch, and still to come in as well, you feel. Both sets of coaches probably have another roll of the dice up their sleeve.
Just 1 minute will we see Zach Clough still waiting on the bench for Adelaide. It's Roar on the attack for now, but not at breakneck speed. A patient build-up. Jelicic. Abubakar. Foul for Brisbane. Mork this time giving the free kick away.
Because he's working so hard, and they're working even harder, Brisbane Roar, to get themselves in the pocket, to rotate, to get players into wide areas and try and unsettle the midfield. But it's about can they turn forward and go with it, and that's why the likes of Abubakar are dropping deep to get the ball, because nothing's going in behind, nothing's looking, or nobody's looking in those sorts of areas. But I'm looking at Klein, and he's making that run forward as well for Brisbane Roar.
Free kick goes short. Jelicic. Big deflection off Mork. A couple of appeals for handball from players over on the left side as Brisbane saw it, but not much interest in the penalty area.
Well, unless he cut his hands off, he couldn't do much about that, I don't think, Stephen Mork, could he?
There are some very parochial fans in the A-League, Eric, that might have the... we won't go down that path. Here comes the long ball now. Kikianis. And a bit of afters here. Halloran, and, well, by afters, it's a friendly hug.
Yeah, good to see Halloran going all the way across there. And that's what they need in that front line, is a little bit more, you know, physicality, if you like, going in and pressing moments they don't expect, getting the ire of the other team. And here's that block from Stefan Mork, and he's in a position where he can't move. It's hit him in the shoulder, I think. So it was going on target, though. It was a good position to be in from Stefan Mork.
So the changes come. Stefan Mork's evening is over, and on comes Zach Clough. Third most goal contributions of any player in the league this season, goals and assists combined. Marin Jakalic 20, Nicholas Milanovic 18, and then Zach Clough in a three-way tie with Joe Lolly and Noah Bodic on 16 for the season. So if anyone is going to unlock the defence or finish a move, it's going to be Zach Clough.
Yeah, he's had a great season. And I think for Carl Wirt, this is probably the time where he wanted to put him in, to go in, to finish off a play. When Brisbane Roar have got a stretch, maybe they're opened up, but they've been quite solid tonight, the Roar. I'm not sure if they're going to find spaces in the build-up and when they're playing in front of them. It's in that transition moment. I think they're very vulnerable, maybe that back four. Can they play something quickly forward to the likes of Archie Goodwin?
O'Shea, Abubakar, the sidestep, and he hits the byline, and it's cleared by Kickoff at his near post.
Just keep a camera on him. Abubakar come. It's unbelievable stuff, it really is. The step over, the flicks, the tricks, but doing it in the right areas and having a final product. Anybody watching at home, it's not about just turning it on for the applause, it's about getting into dangerous positions with good footwork.
Simply kept his marker guessing on the way to winning this corner. It's this Brisbane's moment to take the lead. Jelicic over the head of a leaping Klein. O'Shea isolated against Piraeus. O'Shea. Anthony Burke-Gilroy. Jelicic. A driven cross. And the volley one. Henry Hoare, he does have a knack of popping up in the right place, and it's exactly what he did, but on a very acute angle.
Oh, it's such a good delivery. Finally, somebody zips the ball in. It was Jelicic just finding that space at the far post. It was pinpoint perfection. Just needed Henry Hoare to volley that one and keep it down under the bar. It's a hard angle to score from, but if he tries to hit the target, it would have gone in for sure. The power would have been too much.
Piraeus trying to use his signature speed, but ability is able to slide in and clear. Came deep into his defensive half and got a shove for his trouble. And even though Klein won the ball back from a quickly taken free kick, it seems as though it's Ben Halloran who's going in the book. First yellow card of the game.
Well, as much as Archie Goodwin wants to get involved in the game and he's hungry to have some sort of impact, he doesn't really need to come in those sorts of positions. He wants to stay in the back line and just keep the attention of Billity and Harrington. Just give them a problem in these sorts of areas and let your midfielders get the ball to you.
So here's Halloran, first player of the night to receive a yellow card. Harrington out to Hingett. Ability, misplaced a pass. Falami, Adelaide, can they capitalise? Clough, first involvement off the bench. Clough's cross. Acton spills it. Piraeus dispossessed. Burke-Gilroy came up big. Had to make that tackle, and now he's going to turn defence into attack. Anthony Burke-Gilroy, oh, he decelerated. He decelerated and left his man stranded. Hoare, the attack keeps going. Abubakar. You're always on the attack when Asuma Abubakar's on the ball. Case in point, he follows up, refuses to be beaten. Still going Abubakar. Can he find a teammate? Klein's header into the grasp of Vatuli.
Just rapid velocity from Abubakar. Yet again, just bouncing off 2 or 3 defenders to get himself into that position. So good to watch. He's been the star man tonight for Brisbane Roar. Everything good that's come in that final third's down to his movement and his understanding and his calmness as well when dribbling at pace.
The urgency of the Roar, you'd think they were the ones pressing for the 6. Klein, and a little over-eager from Halloran, twisting his body onto that shot.
There's Cloth on the other end there, swinging a good ball. Matty Acton almost swallowed the ball. And Klein just gives it to Abubakar and says, please go and do something with it again. And he almost found space alongside that 6-yard box. And Klein, who's been really involved in this second half, finding spaces, decides to play it behind Ben Halloran. Has to be in front of him there.
Ability. Klein over the shoulder. Abubakar slipped and then tried to bounce back to his feet, but Friends won the ball. Clough. O'Shea intercepted by Parias. Dylan Parias. Scott Archie Goodwin sends him too wide for a shot. So Goodwin will survey his options and bend away to the corner. Footwork from the Roar to avoid giving up a set piece. And the end result is a Roar throw, so they managed that very well. There's going to be more activity on the benches. And it's going to be Austin Ayubi and Isaias. Isaias having come off his most recent appearance, which broke the game's record for Adelaide United. And Jay Barnett and Johnny Yull take their leave. So that is all 5 outfield changes for Adelaide. Mork, Jovanovic, Yull, Barnett and Dukuli all having left the game. And Isaias and Ayubi, the 2 most recent players, joining other subs, Falami, Goodwin and Clough. So that's it. Carl Wirtz played all his cards.
Yeah, it's the right time to do it. You've got to empty the bench at this point in the game, the context of the season. I mean, a point, it's not disastrous, but a win is certainly...
Well, Clough, can he forge forward here? He can't. O'Shea, advantage given for the challenge on him. Klein. Referee takes a tumble after a tangle with Isaias straight off the bench. Referee is back up and running, as are the Roar. Abubakar. Found O'Shea. And O'Shea just tries to drive a pass into a gap that wasn't quite there for Henry Hall. Ayubi leaps into his first touch of the game. Ability. Klein brings the ball under his control. Jay O'Shea. Sam Klein keeps the relay going out to the right. Hingets. And a disappointing end product.
I've been really surprised with the energy Brisbane Roar has shown tonight. This will be easy being down the bottom of the table, second last, and coming here and putting on a really good performance. I think a few players have changed the fortunes. Would have loved to have seen Abubakar from the start of the season for Brisbane Roar. And Ruben Zadkovic, you never know when it's your last game in football, but this has been an impressive performance.
They've played with spirit. Again, you wouldn't know it's them whose season is nearly a debate about wooden spoon or not, as opposed to Adelaide, who are in the thick of a top 6 race. Vatuli. Fluff. Kiddo. Kikianis. Bart Brands. Adelaide need to show urgency. The clock fast becoming their enemy. Kiddo shows that urgency. Alagedge. Rake slide challenge. Ability won the ball back. And now Henry Hall sends it to the left. Yalicic went to ground. He does keep the ball at his feet. Harrington wide to Halloran. He's got Falami covering him. Hingett. Jay O'Shea. Keeping us off at the moment as far as Adelaide see it. A misplaced touch there from Brisbane gives possession back, and it's going to prompt another sub for the Roar as we see that slide challenge from Billity, which was perfectly timed. Nathan Amanatidis is coming on for his 23rd A-League appearance and 9th of the season. He replaces Keegan Jelacic. And if ever there was a time for the youngster on loan from Sydney FC, the 19-year-old, to pop up with his first Isuzu UTE A-League goal, tonight's the night. But Adelaide are on the attack in the other direction. Clough saw a bit of a vacant penalty area and then it got crowded quickly. Falami. Falami, and Harrington reads it best.
That was a good decision. The game required it just to settle down. Adelaide United, both teams are going for it at the end. As you see the player index paramount plus there. O'Shea again at the top. You can expect him to be there with the amount of touches he gets in the game, the amount of action he sees in their careers. For me, he's been an absolute monster on that right-hand side for Adelaide.
We will check back in with the Paramount Plus player index in post-game. Post-game, which is now 4 minutes and stoppage away. O'Shea, difficult ball to control. Parias knocked it down. Amanatidis, first touch off the bench is promising. Here he goes, the youngster. Out to the right. He's got Kiddo for company. Abubakar. Henry Hoare in the pocket. Couldn't resist the invitation to shoot. To catch his arm. Play continues. After that series of ricochets. Halloran. And Vartuli sharply down. Out for a corner kick it goes, but Ben Halloran stung the palms.
Vartuli was not going to let that one slip underneath him. Ben Halloran, he's got this in the lockup, and on a bumpy pitch, anything can happen, particularly just before he took the strike. It might have helped him just to get a little bit more lift in the ball. Brisbane Roar have got a corner. They still haven't scored with the head. Is this the moment, Teo?
See how packed the 6-yard box is. Sam Klein has risen for plenty tonight. And we've got a player, Ben Halloran, on the ground. In all the jockeying and battle for real estate here at the near post. This is just going to heighten the expectation before the corner. The referees have to do these talking tos. They get told to do them by instructors, so that's why they make a show of calming everyone down. Don't infringe. Here comes the corner. Henry Hoare's corner. He's going to drop it right on the pack of players. And there is a foul. It's cleared out of the teeth of goal regardless.
Something out of the Auckland FC playbook, that. Just go and crowd the goalkeeper. And that's why the referee's blown for a foul. Clearly obstructing Vartuli. That was almost across the line. I'm not sure how Harrington didn't at least put it across the line with his head. Alagic as well.
Alagic's shoulder into Harrington and out for a goal kick.
That could have been the moment for the Roar. In Adelaide now, they've got to consider about throwing everything in this last couple of minutes. They've got to go for 3 points.
Acton. Whistle goes. It's due to an offside against the Brisbane Roar. So, last minute of the 90. Adelaide have brought on all their attacking weapons. Can they fire with limited time? Falami. Falami gets a cross in. It's all Brisbane. Jay O'Shea helping out the defence. Isaias, a bending cross. Goodwin's up. And Clough, well, Clough watches it bounce. And Matt Acton says, that'll do me.
How calm was Ability there, just allowing it to bounce. Something you maybe don't want to do as a defender inside your own box, but it worked out just to calm things down. Matty Acton with the regather.
And Brisbane are attacking because they have got a real sniff in this one. They want to make it consecutive wins at home. Only 3 additional minutes to end the night. So the clock still against Adelaide here. It'll be nail-biting for Sydney FC fans and MacArthur fans watching on. Brisbane about to do them both a huge favour. Could become even bigger if they score a winner.
Stranger things have happened, particularly in the A-League this year. Lots of late goals, lots of late drama, and looks as though they haven't got enough players committed for the Roar. Only got the 4 points at home this campaign at Suncorp. It's not been a happy hunting ground for them. This will be their 5th point this season.
Boubacar, O'Shea, Hingett. Touch escapes him, but he goes and retrieves the ball and wins a corner. We saw the last corner was Stacks on the middle inside that 6-yard box. Carl Veer can only nervously watch on. He's going to not just need a clearance, but an end-to-end counter-attack. Brisbane looking the more likely to win it. Henry Hawes taking the corners from both sides now. Can Adelaide clear and break? Sam Klein plants himself at the back stick. Here's Henry Hawes' corner. It's all Adelaide. Jay O'Shea! And for the head clash, it's going to be a whistle and Kikianis down and needing treatment.
That was a brave play from the centre-back, and there had to be. Everybody from Brisbane Roar throwing themselves at this one. Delivery was on point. Really was. And there's a head clash there from Ability coming in, trying to go for the ball. Only eyes for the ball, but it's brave defending. You've just got to go and clear the ball and not worry about what's coming. Maybe could have put his arms up to protect himself a little bit, Kikianis. But that's a strong challenge, and it might have stopped the goal from going in.
So now, what was 3 minutes of stoppage time will end up being considerably more. Boubacar cheekily goes and grabs a drink out of the opposition's medical kit. Oh, seems to have minded. Here's Kikianis' numbers. He's been vital, but at the moment it's only in service of a 1-1 draw. And ever so briefly, he's going to have to go to the sideline in the 4th official. Stoppage time is going to expire, so now it's entirely at the discretion of the referee. You'd think there's about 90 seconds to go. Kikianis straight back on. And the Roar straight back on the attack. Vrens. Kitto. Harrington wins the header. Adelaide have got to execute perfectly. Falami cuts inside. At the edge of the box, it runs through all and sundry.
Now, Falami probably wasn't trying to find a specific player there. He was just trying to find an area, and all 3 of them got caught into who was it? Was it yours? Was it mine? And they weren't sure. It was not the perfect pass coming in. It was good movement from Falami getting in there, and there was 2 players right on the edge there looking for contact. It's Goodwin and Clough just asking for something in the final stages of the game.
So 1 minute beyond the additional 3. And the referee has seen enough. Adelaide United come to Brisbane and can only take a point. And it is advantage Sydney in the battle for the top 6 because they remain in the finals positions on goal difference, thanks to an equaliser from Asama Abubakar. And it's over to MacArthur as they play next in the A-League on Friday night, hoping to close back to within a point of both Adelaide United and Sydney FC. Adelaide left stuck in 7th for now. They will play their final game of the home and away season away in Melbourne against Melbourne City this weekend. Brisbane Roar are able to take a share of the spoils. Brisbane Roar 1, Adelaide United 1. So Eric Partaloo, Carl Viet did end up bringing on all his subs. He tried to go for the late rush, but it didn't really manifest in terms of actual chances to score.
Yeah, and maybe at the other end he thought about preserving that back line that had been leaking goals, but it was Brisbane